Welcome back guys on another episode of Quadratic Equation. First of all, if you haven't watched my previous video on Quadratic Equation, I guess you have to check this video at this other side of the screen. Click on it and watch the video of Quadratic Equation that I released not more than 7 minutes. So try to watch the video before watching this one if you guess or you think that you are a pure beginner on solving Quadratic Equation. Now, as you can see on the board, you have some quadratic equation that is left to be done. But before we commence, I would suggest that you stay tuned to the end of this video because you won't like to miss what I have for you today. Just stay tuned. Now, welcome back to Home Online Maths Education. It's a very great privilege for me to stand before you all to teach this quadratic equation. So I would suggest that right now you get your pens and your books and then try to follow up on this lesson. Let us work the number 2 and the number 3 together. For those who understand it, that is purely perfect and that's very good. So let's try to work this number 2 and number 3 together and then find out where you must have had your mistakes in solving the quadratic equation itself. But normally before I commence, it's very important that we commit things such as this into the hands of God for perfect understanding. Why not you join me as you repeat this prayer after me? My mind is where I am. When I study, I must remember and understand. So help me God. As easy as that. So let's just drive into the reason why we came. So we can see on the board that we have y squared minus 6y minus 27. First of all, if you remember what I told you about quadratic equation, I was trying to make you understand that I am actually going to solve the quadratic equation using the factorization method, which is what I'm still going to use here. Now, first of all, before we continue, let's try to write out this number 2 question, which is y squared minus 6y minus 27. Now, once you do things like this, the next thing that comes into your mind is thinking of the possible 2 numbers that if you multiply, you'll be getting negative 27. And that same 2 numbers, when you add them up, you will surely get negative 6. So, in order to save us time, let us try writing out negative 27 by this side and negative 6 by this side. So, we'll put a plus sign right here, and then we'll put a multiplication sign right here. So, we're going to ask ourselves, now, what are the possible factors of 27? So we know that 1 times 27 will give us 27. We know that 3 times 9 will actually give us 57. And from the scene of things, these are the only factors of 27. So let's proceed. From here, we can see that 3 and 9 would surely give us 27. And if we still work on 3 and 9, we'll surely get negative 6. So let us see how it's going to work in this video. So we can see that since 3 and 9 are the main object of today, we are going to put them down. Now let us have it in mind that surely one of the numbers must carry a negative sign for us to attain this negative 6 we are seeing right here. It's negative 3 times 9, or we can come here at negative 9 times 3 will work here, because which means that negative 9 times 3 is the main or the best result for this exact question. So which means that we're going to be applying it right here in the question. So y squared minus 9y. Now over here we are getting 3y minus 27. Now we are going to factorize y out of this bracket. So factorizing y out of the bracket, y stays inside, then 9. Now we can all see that when we use this y to multiply the y inside the bracket, we'll surely be getting y squared. And now when we use the y to multiply this 9, we'll surely get 9y. Now let's move over to the next side. Now we can see that we have 3y minus 27. Now since we have 3y minus 27, we still have to factorize out of that exact bracket. So exactly the same step that we followed here is the same step that we're going to follow on this particular one. So from the scene of things, the actual thing to use here, now to save you a lot of stress, since we already have y minus 9, we just repeat it down here, y minus 9, to save you just so much stress. So at this point, we have to think of the possible number that if we use to multiply y, we will surely get 3y And if we use that same number to multiply 9, we'll get negative 27. There is no other number but 3. So 3 is the best number at this point. So 3 times 1 will give us 3y, and 3 times negative 9 will give us negative 27, and we're right on track. So that means our answer now will be what? Y plus 3 in brackets y minus 9. Now you can actually simplify further. So this is our answer for today. Now let's move on to the next question. We can see on the board that we have v squared plus 9v plus 20 equals 0. So at this point, we are going to factorize out of this particular equation. So what do? We have to think of the possible two numbers. Now, before thinking of possible two numbers, let us first of all think of the factors of this particular number right here, which is 20. So the factors that we have is 1 and 20, we have 2 and 10, and then we as well have 4 and 5. So since these are the factors of 20, the next step that's left is we have to pick out two numbers from those factors we have just mentioned, so that when we add them up, we will surely get 9. And not just adding them up, since we have those two as our factors, when we surely multiply them, we are getting 20. Is that not it? So let's step right into it. From the side of things, 4 and 5 is the best number to use over here, because 1 plus 20 can never ever give you 9. 2 plus 10, or 2 minus 10 rather, will surely never give you 9. But the best number to use here is 4 plus 5. So let's step ahead with it. So v squared plus 4v, then 5v plus 20. Now we can go ahead and put a plus sign in here so that the quadratic equation doesn't look stressful or confusing. Now we forgot to place that over here. It's very important that you place your sign in the middle. Now please take note. Assuming it happened to be a negative number that you are putting here, maybe let's say we place negative 9 at this point and then place the 3 here. Now you didn't actually spoil shoe. It's still the same thing, because negative 9 times 3 will give you negative 27. 3 times negative 9 will still give you 27. So it doesn't matter how you position them. So what I'm saying now is, assuming this negative 9 happens to stay here, then this 3y happens to stay here. Now you will not say that you have to place your negative sign here, because if you do that, you have spoiled your whole factorization. The negative sign has a very powerful work it does. So you don't do stuff like that. It is very, very sensitive. Meaning that when you have a negative number that you are to place inside the bracket, please take note, the negative sign should affect the number or the value alone. The negative sign must not be outside the bracket, because if it does, it means that it is going to affect everything inside the bracket, which means it is completely going to change the way it looks. So this, applying the plus sign now in the middle of this very question, or this very solving, it means that we are right on track. Nothing happens, because at this point, when we still factorize out, or we still remove the bracket, we will still get our answers the way they are. Nothing spoils. So let's move ahead to what we were doing previously. So at this point, we are going to factorize out, and then we'll be getting v. We'll place the v inside and plus 4. Hope you see what I mean. So we'll place the v inside and plus 4. So at this point, we'll just repeat the same thing, v plus 4. And then we'll think of the possible number that if we should multiply in here, we'll get back this. So 5 is what I guess should be it, and that is what it is. So v times 5 is giving us 5v, and then 5 times 4 is giving us 20, and that is all for today. Now, thank you all for watching. If you know that you are new to my channel, please do not leave this channel without subscribing, so as to support what I am doing. And then meanwhile, please try to share this video to your friends and families. Try to like and comment. If you still have difficulties in solving quadratic equations, please be free to put them down in the comments below. I'll be glad to answer